Hi there, and welcome to this week's live session where I'm going to talk about COVID-19 and parenting. So, what we can do as parents to let our kids sleep well in these hard times. And basically, what I'm doing today is a reflection of the interview that I had with the wonderful Dr. Monica Sharma. Unfortunately, this Facebook picture is set up in a way that I'm sitting right in front of her and you have to see me twice, which is weird. So sorry for that. I'm going to try to move my head over here as often as I can that you can see Dr. Monica too. So we had this chat about kids and anxiety and COVID and what we as parents can do to kind of keep our kids in a safe place. So if you have kids, I've got three. If you have kids, maybe just drop the number of kids you've got into the comments so I can see that. And we can kind of dig into a little discussion here or just reflect on things that we are doing, we should be doing. So as I said, I've got three kids and you can drop me to the comment. Doesn't matter if you're watching this live right now, which obviously as I'm speaking, it is alive, or if you're watching this as a replay, just let me know how many kids you've got. And yeah, when it comes to COVID, there are a couple of things that we should consider. So first off, Dr. Monica started off with saying something like, and here she is again, something like, COVID is a perfect storm for anxiety, right? The world has never seen something like this in these dimensions and in this speed. So and these are situations where we should be anxious. That's something that she said. It's kind of like, is this a big line? And it makes sense to be afraid that the fight or flight mode gets activated, or is it something that we should stay calm and keep a cool head, cool mind? So we're kind of insecure about this as a population, how it's going to move on. And this is a kind of something that triggers anxiety. And as we all know, being anxious is not a good state for sleeping, not for us and not for our kids. So at some point, we just dropped off into the parenting topic. And I found this, and that's why I'm reflecting on this today. I found this to be a very interesting topic. So what about our kids? Are we really thinking about what COVID has for an impact on our kids? So they're getting homeschooled right now. The parents are in the home office. There's bad news on TV and so on. People are afraid. People are wearing masks. So there's massive change for kids when it comes to their environment, their life. And this can trigger anxiety and easily trigger anxiety in our kids, and this can let them sleep bad too. So Dr. Monica said a couple of really lovely things and laid out a couple of tips that I'm just going to share with you right here, and you can add on if you have additional ideas. Please just drop them into the comments so that other parents like us can kind of pick up on them and will benefit from them. So a couple of things that Dr. Monica said were, first off, you want to take care that your kids don't get exposed to too many bad news in TV, the internet, whatever. So take care that that's not happening. The second thing is related to us as parents. Let's not talk too much, too negative, too fearful about COVID, because this fear is going to spread onto our kids. And then it came to what can we actually do to positively impact the situation, which was listening to our kids. Not like, yeah, and then starting to talk, but really listening to our kids, starting to understand where their worries are, in which place they essentially are, and then to kind of give them this feeling of safety through acknowledging where they are, through taking away that fear, and through a sympathetic body language. So give your kids a hug and so on. And these are just great things that you can do to take away the anxiety. We're responsible, not our kids. We have to take care that our kids can live their life and be in a very safe place. That's what we want to do, that we should do, and it's our responsibility as parents, right? And the last thing was, and I found that to be super interesting, essentially, and a good thing that, oops, here she is, Doc Monica said, was essentially it's up to us, right? If we want our kids to memorize this experience as, it was hell, we all thought we were going to die or whatever, or if we use this time, and this is kind of a big opportunity for all of us working in the home office, being at home more than we used to be. At least for many of us parents, this is true. Or if we are going to create wonderful memories for our kids right now, doing stuff with our kids, taking time with our kids, cooking at home together, eating together. So give me a little like if you agree to this, that this is a good chance to create wonderful memories for all of us, that we can look back with our kids in a couple of years and say, yeah, do you remember COVID? Obviously, it's not something that we wish to have, but do you remember these wonderful things that we did together? And I thought that was just a fantastic thing that Dr. Monica laid out. So I'm going to add up with one thing that I think I said in the interview too. And I think this is also an opportunity for us as parents. So if you're anxious, and there are different reasons that you have good reasons to be, so depending on your state of health, your personal state of health, your age, where you live, where you're located. If you're living in a big city, there's more reason to be anxious than rather if you're living in a small village. So I'm living nearly outside of a small village. I can walk 100 meters and I can have a walk in the field. I'm not really hurt through lockdowns or stuff like that. So everybody's situation is different, and we have to acknowledge that this is the case. But reflecting to us as parents, I think it's a big opportunity for us to be strong for our kids, right? This can also help us as parents. If I have to be strong for somebody else, for somebody I love so deeply, like this is true for us loving our kids, right? And you might want to, hit the little heart button if you love your kids to as much as nothing else. So we all do that as parents. And this is a very big, deep purpose for us that can drive us to be stronger than we think we are. So if you're in an anxious state right now, which is perfectly fine, and as said, Doc Monica said, it's a perfect storm for anxiety. It's a good setting where we can, and in some cases should, be anxious. There's a good reason for getting anxious if something gets dangerous for us. Then our kids can be a big opportunity to get a deep, deep purpose for us to stay strong. Because if we know we have to stay strong to give our kids the feeling of being safe, then this is a very powerful thing for us that we can use as maybe anxious parents, at least at times, to feel strong, to be strong for somebody else if we can't do it for ourselves. So I hope you agree with that. Don't forget, I'm going to close this live session in a couple of seconds. Don't forget to drop me a comment if you have any further tips when it comes to how you handle COVID-19 in regards to your kids, how you give your kids this safe feeling that they can and will have a resting, deep resting night of sleep. I'm really curious to see all your comments, and you're going to help others too. So please don't forget to do that. If you have something in mind that I missed out on, that Dr. Monica missed out on, and check out the wonderful interview that you will find here at sleeptrust.eu as every week, because I'm sure you're not only going to be informed but also entertained. It was a wonderful interview, and thanks, Monica, if you're watching this, for having the interview with me. So with that, I'm going to wish you not only a wonderful Sunday, but also, as always, a superb sleep. See you next week.